Hi everyone, this is Nate Lindquist, the Minimalist CEO, and as I've shared before, I'm completely passionately focused on helping you get your clients better results and walking you through how to reduce your overhead, reduce your overwhelm, and increase your monthly cash flow. And there's a way to do that that's so healthy and life-giving and fulfilling in a way that you probably haven't heard about. But in this video and in the videos that I share, I really want to get you to a result that you can take action on right away, that you can do today. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how you can eliminate, in 5 steps, how you can eliminate your competition completely in a way that you very likely never heard before. I haven't done this video before, but I have tons of really good case studies. If after I'm done, you want to hear a little bit more about those case studies, I'm going to share a couple examples. But I'm open to questions, and I really want to be there for you and help in every way that I can. Even if we're not working together, I absolutely love what I do. I've been blessed to be able to work with amazing clients all over the world, and most of my clients are actually in the United States. I started business on the East Coast, then I started working out of Chicago, but I've been able to work with clients in all parts of the country, and I just love what I do, and I love seeing different kinds of businesses, and I've worked in so many product and service businesses. It runs the gamut from healthcare to the legal industry to, you name it. Pediatric dentists, printing companies, copy companies, legal services, and just anyone who's really good at helping a client get a great result. So if you're really good at what you do, or you have a product that solves problems, then when you hear this video, as we go through these steps, you're going to have a better way to get your clients better results. And that's what I promise from every one of my videos, or I won't take up your time sharing them with you. So again, this is going to be the 5 steps how you can eliminate your competition, actually how you can guarantee that you can completely eliminate your competition. And what happens with competition, as I talk about this, you're going to learn techniques that if you use them, you can stop looking at your cash flow problems and your business problems and just trying to solve them by throwing money at them. There's a tendency, and I'm going to share some pretty interesting statistics with you. There's a tendency for business owners, and I did this, and it's kind of like not your fault, right? What do? You're like, okay, I got some cash. I'm going to invest it in fixing my business problems. A lot of times when you throw money at fixing business problems, what you end up with is you end up running out of money, crossing your fingers because you didn't get the results that you want. So you can avoid doing that once you take these 5 steps. If you're having cash flow problems, you're not seeing the clients coming in, you don't feel like you're getting a good response from the market. This will help with that a whole lot. Also, if you learn and use these techniques that I'm teaching you, you're going to get immediately good positive feelings. You're going to be able to put your head on the pillow at night and know that the way that you're serving clients, the way that you're building your business is actually really difference making. That you're connecting with people, you're seeing a human element, more of a human element in the people who are buying your products and services, and you'll have a more of a sense of how the outcomes of how you get results for your clients makes a difference for other people. So you'll also start to build a new level of positive momentum in your business where you can use and leverage creativity and get innovative and do something new and do things in a new and different way, create something different. Even if you've always done things the same way or a certain way the whole time you've been in business, I'm going to share a way to get really creative. And sometimes it's more important how you get creative, where you apply your creativity, than just that you are creative. Again, and you'll hear this in a second, a lot of people in business focus their creativity just on marketing and on messaging, but there's creativity that can be applied to other things like product development or getting creative about how to figure out what a client is struggling with and what their problems are and what they're worried about. And when you start to get creative about that stuff, you're getting inside someone's heart and someone's mind and their experience, and you become fascinated. You'll hear me say that a lot. Really becoming fascinated with what your clients would love to have happen and what they want, but also what they need, so you can do a better job of getting them the results that they want. So, I want you to think about your business right now as a giving machine, a helping machine. And, because when you make the money, there's going to be team members that you have, vendors, families, somebody, a whole group of people. If you were to sit down, and I've done this before for several of my clients and also in my own business, it's hard not to come up with a list of at least 60 or 70 people. Every single purchase of a product generally affects 60 to 70 people easily. I've sat down with clients and found out about literally hundreds, more than 100 people, sometimes even 200 people are directly affected by the purchase of a product or service. So if you were to sit down with a white sheet of paper and do that because you're in business, know that the decisions you make about how you build your business, they have a huge impact on other people. And you'll start to see that the more you watch my videos and the more we go deep into really the roots that make a business successful. Not just the results, not just the sales, which are super important. Think of those maybe as dividends, but getting down to the foundation of how you build your business so it's sustainable. And as long as you use what I'm about to teach you, you'll have a way to increase your cash flow, and you'll also have a stronger sense of how to sustain the way that you grow your business in a way that becomes less stressful, less wishful thinking, and again, less overwhelmed. So I want to share a few statistics with you that are pretty shocking. I did a little bit of research, and we found out that if you look at small business owners, about between 82 and 87% of business owners at any given time are struggling with cash flow issues. And the problem is business owners tend to, and maybe you've done this too, I know I have, we've tended to project certain sales numbers, certain revenue or income more aggressively. We've given ourselves higher numbers than the actual reality that comes true. And that means that we end up with cash flow problems. So that's, if you think about that, that's an awful lot of people that are immediately going to do what can cause them business failure. And so the next statistic is 94% of business owners who run into a cash flow problem, especially small business owners, 94% of them, and this is from a research from US Bank, a pretty serious study, 94%, the first thing they start to do is increase spending on marketing and sales. And they do it with their fingers crossed instead of following the process that I'm about to share. So they would really benefit, and in almost every case that I've seen, they benefit from taking these 5 steps instead of just throwing more money at it. And if you look at The Power of Broke, which is a great book by what's his? I've got it on the shelf over here. The Power of Broke. What the heck is his name? The Power of Broke. Shoot. Power of Broke. Power of Broke. Gotta be careful bringing this shit up when I don't remember the person's name. The Power of Broke. Oh, there it is. Daymond. Okay. So if you think about what Daymond John has said, he said that a lot of times businesses fail or they struggle because they tend to just try to throw money at problems. But what happens is when you actually are broke or you're running into cash flow issues and you don't have the cash to throw around, or maybe you've tapped into all your credit, you start to get creative. You start to look at, maybe if just throwing money at it's not going to work, now I have to find a different way, a better way, and put a little more hustle into it too. So, you don't want to just throw money at it. The general rule that applies here, if you want to get this result, is you need to shift your focus towards the client. So get client focused and think about, what if I could have a much better understanding about the result that they want? So think about what's their secret result, not just what they want to, not just what they want to buy, but what's their secret result? So if you look back between 1996 and 2001 or 2, everyone wants a website. But then lead pages and ClickFunnels came along because they found the secret result. Think about it. If you're not familiar with sales funnels, then you're definitely missing out on a huge opportunity. But in general, what we learned is that just getting a website is not going to get you leads. But if you can be the company that says, listen, we're going to put up a website for you, but really what we're trying to do here, what we're selling you is getting more leads. And we're going to show you a funnel technique to get you more sales, get you more clients. And that was the secret result. So I'm gonna tell you how I came about this 5-step formula, because I started in my own business, in the marketing business, and I had clients. If I look back when I started back in the late 90s, I had clients who would purchase an annual report, and some companies would spend between $30,000 and $50,000 to get an annual report, and most of the ones that we did were like $5,000 to $15,000, and then they'd pay the printing and they'd pay for stock images and photography and all that other stuff. But here's what happened. They didn't have a result attached to that annual report other than having it and showing it to investors. They would have it for their annual stock meetings, stockholder meetings, and board meetings, but there was no outcome. So in the days of being a marketing firm, little by little, I started to recognize that clients wanted to spend less, and they wanted to see the work that we were doing tied to the results that they were getting. How many more people were buying their products? How many more people were buying their services? And in the web world, if you didn't help a client get results, once we got into, moved into the 2000s, clients were going to someone else. So you had to get really good at knowing the real result that they wanted, which was getting more business. So also, there's a really good case study, a good example that I'm going to share with you. That's a cabinet maker who I work with, who has, he's a custom cabinet maker, and he works with contractors, general contractors, and designers and architects and premium residential home buyers who want to spend anywhere from $30,000, $25,000 or $30,000 up to over $100,000 for custom cabinets in their home, whether it's in a workshop, a bathroom, or a kitchen, and of course primarily a kitchen. And what I realized, he wanted more business, but he was having cash flow crunch, wasn't keeping much of the profit. So we started taking a closer look at, well, why isn't he getting that business? And we found out he had an awful lot of competition. There's a lot of people. This guy's out in the San Francisco area, and there's a lot of people building really nice custom cabinets, and they're all competing on price, and some of them are competing on how long they've been in business and other things that they think make them exceptional. But inevitably, he would put dozens of bids out and find out that he didn't get the business because there's just too much competition. So what we learned in this process is that by following these 5 steps, he was able to eliminate his competition. So I'll walk you right through what we did. The first thing that we did is we call it finding the absolute best result. So what you do is you go out and you literally look for who's doing the most cabinet making business at all levels. So we saw there's premium cabinet makers that are working for high-end affluent markets. They're getting $100,000, $150,000 or more for cabinets, custom cabinets, tons of money. And then you have the lower end people putting in really cheap wholesale cabinets. And then you'd have some in between people who are doing cabinet refacing and doing kitchen remodeling packages and things like that. So we found out all the people who were doing this, the people who were that we could find. If we were a homeowner out in that area and we wanted to get that business, we went out and found out who they were, looked out who the big players were, who's getting the most business, who has the most reviews. And we're actually able to just really find out what their process is, including secret shopping them, making phone calls, getting some bids, even finding out if we could talk to some of the people who had reviewed their work and find out what the relationship was and what it was like working with them. So you find out the best result, and you find out what the result is, what the outcome is that the customers are getting. And the reason that you do that is you want to know who the competition is, but you want to know what the best looks like. So what are the features? What are the benefits that you're competing with if you want to get business that they're getting? Now, in this place, we found that the company that was actually getting the most business was a cabinet refacing company. And the other more premium custom cabinet shops, either there's some really huge ones who just have all these custom woodworking specialists, and they're just these gigantic manufacturing operations and big woodworking shops, or you have a lot of just dozens and dozens of custom woodworkers who are just craftsmen. And all of them are competing, and they all want to make a living, and they all get up early, work hard all day, try to get their team to work and get the best results they can. So there was this whole gamut. But when you know the best, then you can start reverse engineering and saying, okay, well, what does it take to deliver it? So step 2 is deconstruct what it takes the best in this market to deliver it. With the cabinet maker, we looked at what's it take the best to deliver custom cabinets, and then we decided to look at what does it take to be the best to deliver cabinet refacing, because those are the 2 markets that my client said, I could really do a good job at this. So we deconstructed the pieces and parts of those 2 markets, and I said, if you really hit your income goals and the number of projects that you want every year, and you really want to serve as many people as you possibly can and absolutely love the work, but do it in a reasonable way so it's scalable, what would have to come true to be the big cabinet shop? The big custom cabinet shop. And you find out you'd have to have 15 or 20, highly paid, super talented craftsmen who all wanted to work, and he'd have to come up with a way to sell enough work to pay them enough so they could make, definitely most of them are making in the close to 6 figures or more, some making well more than that. So you'd have to a huge base of salaries would have to be paid. And he's like, I don't know if I want to do that. What else would you have to have? He would have to have, a 15 to 20 times bigger than his current woodworking studio for his shop, and a whole bunch more equipment, a whole bunch of leases, overhead, all this other stuff. And he's like, wow. And then materials and an inventory that would have to be available to do that kind of work and keep inventory on hand that would tie up cash. He'd have to get financing. And I was like, okay, do you really want to be this? And I said, okay, what about the refacing? We started looking at that. And we started saying, okay, if we could deconstruct, again, step 2, deconstruct what it takes to deliver this premium cabinet refacing process. And we try to figure out how we could get the most leverage. Again, that's what you're looking at when you're building a business. And he said, well, I could build the cabinets. I said, well, what if you didn't have to? And we started finding solutions. And I was like, well, what if you had, say a, $5 or $6 million operation, and it was delivering the kind of service that would be your standard to help as many customers as possible. What would have to happen? And we found out there'd have to be a painting company, there'd have to be a hardware company, there'd have to be some custom textures that would have to be incorporated. Certain types of wood or hardware or drawer pulls would have to be factored in, and then pretty much that's it. So as part of looking what it takes to deliver it, there'd also have to be scheduling, admin, project management, some customer service, and things like that. So there's 2 ways that we found he could deliver really good cabinet refacing, and we found out that the margin for the market was a lot less than $25,000 or $30,000 for a big custom kitchen, but that we also knew, because of looking at the competition, looking at the marketplace, we were able to realize there's tons of people getting cabinet refacing, and they're looking for the best product. And you get this company that's doing seminars and teaching homeowners and teaching designers how to do the refacing to lower cost, increase the value and the outcome. So he looked at 2 different ways to deliver, how he could deliver the cabinet refacing business. And this was interesting. The first was he could contact a white label service. So in your business, think about, could you contact a white label service, someone who does everything that it would take for you to be in this business, but they'll put your name on it, and then you can be the one who sells it, you can be the one who markets it, someone else is going to deliver it, and they're going to put your name on it. Or the other way is you could find uniquely qualified people who are in a different market but don't realize that they're in a different market, and you could actually deliver their services by contracting with them, making them strategic partners. And what he found is a painting company. He got real creative, made a list of all these other groups. He looked at people who do countertops and people who do flooring and other general contractors, and he said, no, I wouldn't work with them. And he found out that a painting company is a peripheral market that would actually, they take off cabinets anyways. They paint cabinets. They put on hardware. They take it off. They put it on. But he said, well, I could train them to take it off, paint it. We could deliver new wood or new cabinets, and they could essentially be a strategic partner. They could do what they're doing, but now we could tell them that at the end of the month, we're going to send them new clients every single month. We're going to send them money every single month. We're going to get leads for this every single month, and we're going to show them a process that actually introduces new guaranteed cash flow, new opportunities for business, and you guys could deliver it. You could have a new profit center in your painting company. So you're no longer just a painting company. You now have a cabinet refacing division in your painting company, and it's going to be branded and trained by us. We'll have a very specific contract as to how we do that. And he's like, oh my gosh, that would totally work. And what was great about this is by deconstructing it and getting creative about that, we found out that we could deliver a fantastic result. Now, one of the biggest results that we found in our research by asking people who were getting these products and services, by looking at the competition, is we found out their secret result was they wanted to have either an awesome experience in their kitchen, or they wanted to increase the value of their home so they could sell it. So those are the 2 big outcomes. So then the third thing that we did was get outside the box and curate the delivery. So we had to negotiate a win-win relationship with this strategic partner. So we found a series of painting companies who we could work with as a strategic partner, who would be able to go and deliver in multiple regions. Now this guy's he's been able to expand his region, deliver these services in different parts of the country, not just where he is. He can train them remotely, or he can go out and train them in person. They can increase their core base of business, deliver his services, follow their processes, and he's actually bringing together companies that do an amazing job with the customer service, with keeping their promises. They've got great reviews, and now they're delivering his refacing product, and everybody's winning. What's cool is he's able to keep a much higher percentage of the profit from a much smaller job. Now, it gets even better. So we're talking about eliminating the competition. So in the fourth step, once you curate, you bring together the best talent, meaning you don't have to be the guy manufacturing the doors. So you bring someone in who can bring in the best, either wholesale or just a little lower than retail. You want to find really good cabinet doors, but you're going to take care of the coating and the hardware. Find a hardware partner. You find out how you can drop ship that stuff to the location. You find a painting company who can take the pieces apart, get them painted, put them back together, make everything look awesome. But then he took it a step further, moved into step 4, which is stack on the creative wow factors. And so you get creative. You start getting juiced by, okay, if the wow factor, if the big result that the client wants is an awesome kitchen experience or to increase the value of their home, how would we do that? And he started getting really excited about, we could create themes, global themes. We could have movie themes. We could even, look at like different cities in the United States that people love or places they've traveled on vacation and bring that theme into the kitchen with tiles and colors and textures and props on the counter and certain types of furniture. So now they have certain furniture companies that are teamed up with them to deliver this really creative kitchen experience, out of the box experience. And what's awesome about that is he's stacking on so much creative wow. But he's done it in such a way where the customer, they see this whole, you can get custom tile, you can get these colors and textures, you can have tile painted as part of the painting service, you can have the cabinets refaced, new hardware, everything looks beautiful and different. And then he found a wholesale cabinet provider who could bring in corner cabinets, different top and bottom cabinets that once they're refaced, they look very much the same as what was already being refaced in the kitchen. So then you can change layouts, make things more organized, more efficient without having to have this huge custom cabinet price. And he's able to deliver this for just a tremendously efficient price that gives him a much higher profit per project than it was when he was doing these big projects. So he just stacked on the wow, and people can come in and it's like, we're going to teach you how to increase the value of your kitchen. We're going to make our teaching available for every one of our customers who buys these kitchens. We're going to work with real estate companies, mortgage companies, title companies, individual homeowners who want to find out and go through a training and learn about how to create this value without having to spend a bunch of money. And you can get access to a whole series of props and themes and designs and templates to make this an awesome kitchen. We'll come in, we'll completely do it for you. You go away for 2 or 3 days, you come back, we just pimped your kitchen, and it's amazing. Now, what's cool is there's nobody else in the marketplace that's doing anything like this. So once they named their price, they were able to move on to step 5. They made a premium profit at an attention-grabbing price. So there no longer has to be this idea that you're charging $25,000. He's actually able to do some of these projects for anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000. But if you're going to get cabinet refacing jobs, you're getting the same price for far less of the wow experience. So how hard is it to get the business? There's nobody in the industry doing anything like this. There's a complete wow factor. Now, you can do this with any business. The key is when you get down to stacking on that creative wow, you get really creative. And now they're putting in wine club memberships, cooking classes that are related to French cooking, Italian cuisine, lifestyles in certain cities, and Chicago dining, and you learn all these things about creating the ambiance and creating the lighting and creating the experience, and you're able to do it in such a way where it's just oozing with creativity. And the customer comes in, and what do they see? They see the result they want, which is an increased value of their home. They also see the wow factor. They know exactly how it increases the value, and we've been able to keep the price down and the profit high. And also, we've created a situation where you can scale it. Take a bunch of the delivery of these goods off the shoulders of the cabinet maker, turn him and his team into more of project managers, so he can get really creative about creating these experiences, bring in the very best partners, and now his business is scaling like crazy. So you tell me, if you're looking at your business, what you could possibly do right now, what could you do to increase the quality of the results that you're getting for your clients? How could you eliminate your competition? The first thing you want to do is go out right now and look at everyone who's getting the most business from the clients that you want to work with. Excuse me. Just go out and find out it, and look at the people that are doing the premium, the custom delivery and something that's fancy. And again, I'm using this analogy, but you can apply it to any business. Who's doing the premium service? And I'll use another good example. In my business, I work with research teams for business intelligence. I used to do all my own market research in-house. Now I have a wonderful arrangement with teams from Harvard and Wharton Business School and MIT and Stanford and all these places that are amazing at research. So some of them are better at research than others. And I'm able to take that research. I can get it done in 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks. I can put a primary research project together, so test the market with certain types of direct interviewing or online marketing. I can get a bunch of data about what your business is looking to sell and how much interest there is from the marketplace. And I don't have to be the business intelligence team anymore. I don't have to be the one to deliver it. To have that in-house, that was several $100,000s in salaries a year just for a couple of researchers and for access to certain reporting structures. But I've been able to make that an outside service, bring a ton of value to my clients, and help my clients look around the curve. So I followed the same process. It's a basic 5-step process, but it completely changes the game. And regardless of the business that you're in, just imagine getting to that phase, getting to that step 4. So once you've gotten through the steps, and I'll go through them one more time. Once you get to step 4, stacking on the creative wow, you think about how much you can just add to and add to and add to. And here's the thing. The magic touch here, imagine if you saw an opportunity to get kitchen cabinets, and if you buy the whole package, you get a themed kitchen and the refacing of the kitchen cabinets becomes included. So in other words, what if you could buy, normally maybe you'd go out and spend $15,000 or $20,000 to redo your kitchen. But what if the refacing of your cabinets is included? So there's no charge for that, provided that you buy the kitchen theme package. And suppose the whole thing with the kitchen included and the theme package and the wine club membership and the cooking lessons or whatever else you choose, custom antique books that are of a certain period that you want to have on the counter, or certain types of prints and themes that would be designed, and hung on the wall. How much would you want to? How much more would you want to have that experience? And especially if you knew that you were no longer comparing apples to apples. So here's the steps real quick. The first one is find the absolute best result. Second is deconstruct what it takes to deliver it. And you can do that with a white label service, someone who's just going to do the work and they just put your name on it. And you got to be really careful. That's not always the best way to do it, but there are some services that are awesome for that. And then get someone who's uniquely qualified, like in this case, the painting company that already does most of the things you need them to do, but they're not in the cabinet business. Then curate the delivery. So get a plan that delivers everything from the beginning to the end. That's an awesome experience for your client. And then stack on the creative wow. Get your creative juices flowing. Have fun with it. All the things you can do. And then make a premium profit at an attention-grabbing price by giving your client the very best results. So if you have questions, you have ideas, you're not sure how this would apply to your business, these are the 5 steps that absolutely eliminate the competition because you've done the work, completely focused on getting your client the best result. I'm Nate Lindquist, the Minimalist CEO, and I'll be back with another video soon. Send me a message, subscribe if you love what I'm sharing, and if this is helpful for you, ask me any questions down below in your comments, and you can reach out to me by all means. Send me a message at Nate Lindquist Mentor, just Nate Lindquist Mentor on Facebook, and we'll be in touch.